All right, so my name's Jay, Jay London. I'm a presenter slash sometimes DJ, but mainly presenting online and probably best known for Capital Xtra. Weeknights is where you can catch me 10 p.m. To 2 a.m. going in with the new tunes and a lot of UK stuff. You might have seen my face on socials, across Instagram and things like that, because I heavily support a lot of UK music and a lot of UK artists as well, playing the tracks on my show. And Sunday mornings too. I also own a business called Fred's. We have a photograph studio as well. We're a creative agency. We specialise in music and fashion. Working a 9 to 5, so I was just doing the daily 9 to 5 stuff, which got boring for me. Kind of luckily, I got made redundant as well. The whole company got moved to Norwich, and then it was time for me to decide what I wanted to do with my life, and I decided I wanted to present. I used to always watch Jonathan Ross on BBC One, and he was like one of the people that I was like, oh, I would love to do that. So I took action. I got myself a microphone. I started doing podcasts in my room. Very long story short, 5 years later, I'm doing the show that I'm doing now after a lot of community radio, going to a lot of seminars, working for free, producing, running out of money, having to sign on at a job centre, not being able to afford lunch sometimes, waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, producing a show at Choice FM at the time, and then going to work in the evenings until 9 p.m. and then waking up again at 4 o'clock in the morning the next day. I did that for about a year as well. So there was there's a lot of graft to it, and as you can imagine, it's a hard industry to get in, and I couldn't be more appreciative of it now, probably because of that. And I get invited to do a lot of talks and a lot of seminars, and it's amazing to be on the other side of the crowd now, because I came to this position by being on that side. So now to be on this side, speaking to people in the likes of Ministry of Sound or at schools, universities, we've done quite a lot of talks this year talking about the journey. Is something that really means a lot to me, and I think people resonate with it because I did it not the way that it's just like a stroke of luck that some people might do, but the traditional hard grinding way that a lot of people are struggling through, maybe now chasing the dreams that they are trying to achieve themselves. Thick skin. You need to be thick-skinned and have a lot of determination. I mean, when you decide what you want to do, if that is your real passion and you decide that this is what I want to do and nothing's going to stop me, then nothing's going to stop you. I'm a strong believer that you can do anything that you want to do in life. And that was always my ethos, that was always my attitude. I always just wanted to succeed, I always wanted to just achieve. I wanted to make my mum proud, I wanted to just make myself proud. And it was never a case of finding any excuses or thinking someone owes you something, or obviously you get a lot of knockbacks. I've been knocked back so many times in life, but it's just having that hunger and that determination to know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and if you keep on grafting, you keep on grinding, you'll get to where you want to be. So I didn't sign on for long because I knew it was just a case of me being there for a little while. I ran out of money. I didn't have a job because I was working, but I wasn't getting paid. So I ran out of money at the time, and for me it was just like a case of, okay, I'm in this transition where I need to find a job, but in the meantime I've got nothing, so I need to sign on. But I think I was there for about a month, and just being there, just being in and around people who probably wasn't on the same wavelength and were happy to sign on, maybe motivated me a little bit more, because I knew that this isn't where I was going to be for a long time, but it's just having that motivation and being able to come from that position to now be in a position where I'm not signing on and I'm actually doing what I love, just makes it all worthwhile, I guess. Well, I've been in this building for about 5 years now, and it still almost feels like the first time, like when I walk in, when I do my show. Like, I've been doing the show for about 2 years. I've been on the radio before that, but the actual slot that I do now is coming up to about 2 years, and I couldn't be more grateful for it. Like I was saying to you guys earlier today, like, it doesn't feel like work. It never does feel like work, and that was the feeling that I expected when I decided that I wanted to present. I'm a believer in, if you do something that you love doing, then you'll never work another day in your life again. So for me, it is just having that same joy and having that excitement every time I walk into the studio and being able to put up the mic and speak to hundreds of thousands of people, and people resonate with it because the show, people are really enjoying it. The artists really get involved as well. I've made a lot of friends as well through it, so it's a really great feeling. And as much as a lot of people think that it's really easy, there's a lot that goes into it as well. I think a lot of people think that to present and to DJ, they often get that mixed up. To be a presenter and to be a radio DJ, there is a difference there, because our duty and our job is to sell the music and sell the station, and to sell literally the content that we're talking about throughout the day. So you're listening, you're laughing, you're getting information, and we're linking the tunes together. So it's a nice radio show, it's a good experience for you. Whereas obviously a DJ is to spin tunes and to get a crowd and to obviously shut down a rave. So there is a lot of difference in it. So I prep a lot. The content that I'm going to be talking about in terms of news stories, 9 out of 10 times Drake would have done something for me to talk about anyway, so we're all good. But as I say, we focus a lot on UK stuff as well on my show, so discovering a lot of new UK talent. I get sent so much stuff like every day, and it's hard because I can't get back to everyone, but it's just nice to be able to discover new things as well. I'm really just champion what we're doing at the moment, because the UK is just in an amazing place, and like we're smashing it. Like I don't think anyone's touching us at the moment. Like America's looking at us, and a lot of people are looking at us now from the places that we wanted to be. So I just think it's a really great thing, and all the artists are smashing it. So I think we just need to keep supporting that and supporting each other, whether it's music, comedy, people like Michael Dapper and Mo, like they're smashing it, whether it's presenting, acting, like literally, like we're in a very good place at the moment. So I'm just happy to have a platform to be able to embrace it just that little bit more as well. It's tricky because it wasn't really like a big break. It was just a lot of grinding, and then gradually I got into the position that I was working hard for. It wasn't like, okay, cool, now's your chance, come in here, smash this, well done, we're going to give you a show. It was a lot of dedication and coming in, and as I say, like going moneyless and jobless for a little while as well, which isn't always the case if you're watching and you want to be a presenter. So don't get scared off, but just be prepared to work hard, because I think that's something that a lot of people forget now, and it's something that gets lost because of social media and because of a lot of people that are out there, and they see the end success. They don't see the work that was put in before it. So even me just being on radio now, for me, that's like, it's such a great thing for me to do, but for me, like that's not my end goal. I'm trying to aspire to a lot more as well. So a lot of people see that and think, oh, how can I do that? And they might think it might just take a couple of months or like a year or so, and don't realize that there might be a lot of sleepless nights, there might be a lot of grinding, there might be a lot of doing jobs and presenting things, or whatever position or that you want to be in. There might be a lot of things that you have to do and work doing that you don't particularly want to do. Like you might want to be a presenter and have to present a radio show where you don't actually like the music, but are you going to turn that down, or are you going to get the experience that you need? So for me, I was in this building for a long time, and I was producing, and then it kind of just fizzled out. Like I started running a business. I didn't consciously leave, but I had left because I got a lot older, and I got busier with the stuff that I was doing outside, and because I wasn't contracted to work here at the time, it was fluctuated. It wasn't constant, until eventually I got asked to come back, and then the rest is kind of history. We did like another demo, and yeah, now I'm doing the show that I'm doing today. But I guess what really made it worthwhile was making sure there was a lot of dedication, and that I was an asset when I was here, so that I wasn't forgotten, and that thankfully and gratefully I was asked to come back years later. So yeah, I guess that's just a lesson for all of us, just to make sure and just be nice to everyone, because you never know who's who. Like you could be sitting next to someone who is at a lower position than you right now, and eventually that person could own the company. So not just be fake, don't be fake, but just be nice to people. It costs nothing.
You know what's a bit awkward? Trying to get the attention of your ex. We've all been there. Like, you try and put something out on Instagram, they see it, like Chris Brown. Just move on. Karuchi's not on it anymore. Jay London here, it's Capital Xtra. We've got loads to squeeze in before, like, we get over this bank holiday Friday, all right? All I'm saying is, Chris, stick to the music. Like, this is still definitely the best video that you're going to see, Freaky Friday on Capital Xtra. They working?
That was mad smooth.
It's different, isn't it?
That was mad. You need to listen to it for that, bro. It doesn't sound like how it does in here.
Yeah, it's weird, obviously, like, because obviously I can't hear what you hear, but I know what that sounds like.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's because obviously you don't hear none of
It just sounds like radio, bro.
Yeah, it just sounds like radio. But in the studio, it's dry, innit?
Yeah.
For me, when I decided that I wanted to be a presenter, I didn't have any presenting experience. So just like with anything, I thought I need to get experience. I can't just expect to walk into a job not knowing what I'm doing. So I did a lot of research on presenting, but the best way I always still believe is practice, and practice makes perfect. So I wasn't going to be able to get in front of a TV at that stage just because I was nobody. So something that I could do was to buy a microphone and to just do my own show. And that's exactly what I'd done. So the reason that I'd done that was to get the practice, to get the experience, just get off my arse and just do something, to start hearing myself back and critiquing myself back and listening to how I actually sound and knowing if I could actually do the job in the first place. So the J show was structured. It was like a 1 hour show, and I'd do some news, I'd do some topics a little bit similar to how I do the news and topics and things that I talk about now on the radio on Capital Xtra. I'd do a section where I would go out and I'd just interview anybody, like anyone that I could get my hands on. We didn't have Instagram back then, but anyone who was necessarily had, like, 200 followers or 3. I didn't care about following or anything like that. If you had a little bit of a name for yourself, or you was just doing something that was cool, then I was going to interview you. Luckily, I got to interview some cool people like Deneo at the time. I don't know if he still remembers. Like, next time I see him, I'll ask him. I interviewed a member of the Great British Synchronised Swimming Team, which was, it sounds weird, but it was like they're in a position and they was doing something really cool and they were successful. Like, they're part of the GB squad. So I interviewed the girls for that. And then one of the people that I interviewed was a presenter here at Choice FM, which thankfully got me invited back. So yeah, so that was the idea of the podcast. And obviously alongside of that, going to a lot of different seminars, workshops, doing a lot of community radio as well, traveling far to just be on the radio for like a couple of hours, and learning how that was. So yeah, I think the podcast really helped, and it's just mad that like podcasts now are so popular. So watch this space. I might have to bring it back. The J Show 2.0. Okay, so some of the highlights, like I've touched on already, is being invited back to a lot of places to talk about my journey, which I still find mad, because I don't see what I'm doing as this mad big like inspirational thing. I'm just trying to do me and just try and be as successful as I can be. So that alone is mad. Like, I got invited to do a talk at a school assembly, which is like down the road from where I live, and I almost went to that school. So for me to go back to the secondary school and speak to like children in year 7 was a crazy feeling. Doing talks at Ministry of Sound as well is really cool. Co-founding my own business as well alongside my business partner Andre. We've done some amazing things with Fred's UK. Make sure you're following us on Instagram, little plug. And just the amount that we've achieved with that, getting flown out to different countries and just seeing again that come from nothing to something. I was on TV the other day on Channel 5, which was really cool, which I played down at the time because I'm around so many other successful people who are achieving so many great things, who are always on TV. So for them, it's just like, oh yeah, whatever. They would never say that, but I don't know, sometimes you can get trapped in a mindset to start looking at other people's journey and forget your own journey. So I had started this whole journey to be on TV, and then I was on Channel 5 doing like an award show. I was one of the guests on there, and I almost played it down because I was just like, this is just like a common thing for the people, for the industry that I'm in. And then I had to wake up and slap myself. So that was a massive achievement for me. I was one of the UK judges at the Eurovision Song Contest. That was a big achievement as well. And I was one of the faces for like the Mayor of London as well, for a big project that was on the London Underground, featured across like 500 different train stations, which was amazing as well. So those things there are like, I hold those things really closely, but mainly just being able to achieve something that I set out in the first place to get onto radio. But it's just kind of like the middle ground for me now. Now I'm just trying to expand on that and just keep doing more. My thing is like I just need to do as much as I can before I die, and just leave an impression on the earth and leave a mark on the earth before I can't leave any more marks. So yeah, to answer the second part of the question, that's what I inspire to just do as much as I can do. And a lot of people say to me, when will I feel successful? And I just don't know the answer to that. I just feel like as long as I'm here and I can just keep on grinding and being as successful. When I'm on like the front page of GQ magazine and I've just got like all of this stuff like Jay London, the entrepreneur, the presenter, the restaurant owner, the fashion designer, like, then I'll probably be happy. But until then, there's still a lot more work to do. So Fred started as an online fashion and lifestyle show. Again, it was something that me and my business partner started for me to gain some experience in front of camera because I wanted to be a presenter. Eventually that hobby turned into paid work. So a lot of the fashion brands that we were speaking to wanted the content because we always believed in quality. So a lot of brands and people were seeing that and they wanted a piece of the pie. They wanted a video by Freds. So eventually we had to kind of take a step back and remodule the whole thing, and then it got abbreviated to THRDS, which is now Freds. Some people still call it Freds, but it's Freds as in the stuff that make you clothes, like the threads that make you clothes. So we had to take a step back, rescaled everything, and then eventually it just kind of grew to what it is now by just, again, the hard work and dedication by going out there and just being about business, just trying to track down as many brands as we can, trying to get out there as much as we can, trying to do as many videos as we can. And again, at this time, we weren't getting paid for it. For me, it was never about the money because I've always got the bigger long-term goal in my head. So I know that eventually this is going to be something that I can retire doing. So it was just one of them things where we kind of started a little collective with like graphic designers and videographers and photographers and sound recordists and presenters and stylists, and everyone was just trying to do the same thing, just make a bigger name for themselves. So we just had this collective where we was just doing as much as we can. Eventually it got split into 3 different categories because we realized that we were a platform, we were a creative agency because we were doing jobs outsourcing, working with the likes of Top Man, All Saints, River Island, Lacoste, getting flown out to Croatia with Bench and covering festivals and doing stuff like that. So that was like the agency side. And we've also got Fred Studio, which is now in South London, on Old Kent Road, where a lot of people come in there and do a lot of shoots. We used to be based in East London. The likes of Chip has shot in there, J Huss, Sony, Universal, they've all shot in there. Urban Outfitters were in the space last week. Nike, Adidas, like we've had a lot of people in there, so we're really grateful for that as well. So I think the hardest thing with business and the thing that I find hardest in life is being able to juggle like the amount that I do, which I think is the case that you would have with pretty much anything. So I think a lot of people see the glamorous side and they see the side of the business where it's like the fun side, but it's forgetting there's a whole different side behind that. There's like health and safety that you have to do. There's contracts, there's finance, there's accounting, there's tax, there's VAT. So those are the things that I never studied business studies. So those are things that we've had to learn along the journey and learn along the way. But you know, it's more stuff to learn, and it's just part of the puzzle. Again, it's one of them things. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. So I'd never moan about it. It's just the same attitude that I guess I had from the beginning. It's just get on with it. If you don't want to do it, no one's forcing you to do it. So either just shut up and do it, or just do something else. So whatever your passion is, it might be working in an office. If you're happy doing that, then by all means. It might be owning your own business. It might be a presenter. It might be becoming an artist. But whatever the field is, it's just remembering the most important thing. You should just work hard at it. It's always tricky, like next 5 or 10 years, those questions. And it's mad because I ask people those questions when I'm speaking to people. But like it's hard because I don't even know what I'm doing in the next 5 days. Like the next 5 or 10 days, I don't even know what I'm trying to do, because every day is always different, and I'm always aspiring to do more things. So short-term goal for this year is to just get myself doing a lot more. So like I'm very grateful and passionate about the radio station that I'm on. I love my job and I love doing that, but there's a lot more that I can be doing outside of that too. So it's making sure that I'm doing that. I started doing a lot of fashion stuff, and I want to get back into that because now I'm probably seen more as music, which is fine, but there is quite a nice balance that I like to have because I'm very into not so much fashion but style. Like, that's kind of how it got me presenting in the first place. So that would probably be for the next year, and then going into the next 5 or 10 years, it's just for that to be a lot bigger than it is now. So just for me, it's awareness. I don't think enough people know who Jay London is, and not enough people can say, oh, okay, that person's doing that and he's known for doing this. I don't ever want to be famous for the sake of being famous. Like, I'm more about being successful, but because of that, it's maybe slowing me down getting my face out there, because I've never been too worried about people going, oh my God, there's that person, that's that person. I'm not really cared about that, but to have that attitude might limit yourself a little bit for people to actually recognize the things that you are doing, because obviously the more people that know who you are, the more people that will recognize the things that you are doing for the right reasons. So hopefully to just inspire a few more people and to just try and give back as much as I can as well. Like, doing a lot of these talks mean a lot to me, and inspiring the next generation, because we're only here for so long. So in the next 5 or 10 years, who knows, maybe I might have my own radio station where it's the next generation of presenters who are trying to do the same thing that I was trying to do when I was their age. But yeah, I hope that answers the question, because as I say, it's just a little bit tricky because I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. So hopefully there. But I just know it just needs to be a lot bigger and wider than what I'm doing now. Like, I'm not going to ever be content with the amount that I'm doing. Same way, if I was asked that question 5 years ago, I knew that I'd need to be at another level. I'm never going to be content, and I'll just be very angry at myself if I wake up in a year's time and I'm doing the same thing that I'm doing now, and it's on the same scale that I'm doing now. So the way that I balance things at the moment is by having a diary, first of all, which is very important. And I've got like a whiteboard in my room, which I've got like 2 weeks, like a planner on there. Without that, I will not know what's going on. So I literally write on there what is happening. So in order to run the business, it's just doing it. I do that during the day, and then I do radio in the evening. So whatever spare time I have, or whatever time I might have on the weekends, 9 times out of 10 I'm working, but I've literally only recently just learned to use some of my spare time to have spare time and to just unwind as well, because I'm a workaholic. But yeah, it's really important to reset as well. I like to travel a lot as well, so I think that helps too. So that helps a lot with balance, by always resetting yourself and coming back and appreciating more when you're away. Like, okay, cool, like I miss radio, or I miss being in the studio, or I miss doing that. When you're always around something, sometimes you can forget. Lowest point has probably been when I was jobless and I was signing on. For me, I've always had my mum there to support me, but you get to an age where you don't want to ask your mum for money. Like, you want to support your mum. So it wasn't a case of like, if I went to my mum and I was like, oh mum, like, can you help? She would obviously help, but it was a thing that I wanted to do. I felt quite embarrassed that I was signing on, which isn't something that anyone should be embarrassed about, because it happens. If you can't find work, then you have to find work. That's just how it goes. So that was the lowest point of me, of my career. I think I was here for a bit, and there was a lunchtime where I went downstairs and I wanted to get Subway. I was hungry, so I wanted to get Subway, and there was no money on my card. I literally couldn't eat like the whole of that day. So that was probably the lowest point. And the highest point is probably now, and that's kind of like how I hope it to be. Like, every day should just be getting better. There shouldn't ever be a stage where it's going backwards. So at this point, I would consider to be my highest point, being able to speak to you guys and being asked to do interviews like this. I still just feel like little old me, like, why are we doing this? But for me, it's like, yeah, this is a highlight to be able to speak and talk about the journey. So highest point then, and lowest point, not being able to afford Subway.
So one of the things that I like to post on Instagram and on my website is style stuff. Like, I'm not I'm not heavily into like catwalks and fashion and size 0 models, but I just like clothes. Like, just there's no harm in that, right? So one of the things that we do is blog shoots. I don't consider myself even to be a blogger, but I just like to put outfits together. So one of the things that we're doing right now is we're going to go outside in the rain and shoot a couple outfits just before literally we start the weekend. So hopefully I don't get too wet.
Follow me on Instagram. That's probably the one that I'm addicted to and use the most. It's at JLondon, so just J-A-Y and then London. Twitter's the same. I'm not on Snapchat because I kill Instagram stories, like literally. You guys probably noticed, like I love an Instagram story. Do you know why I like it? Because like I can look back at it. So it's not necessarily because like I'm just trying to document everything, but sometimes I like to go home and be like, what have I actually done today? So yeah, I might just get my phone out and just do like a little Insta story. So I can say, okay, cool, this was like what I've done. And sometimes it's just nice to look back at them. So Instagram, Twitter, Facebook as well. And then Freds is the company that we're running, which is really doing some amazing things. I'm not just saying that because I own the company. Literally, like with the photography studio, we do some really good rates as well, so it's affordable. Don't feel like we can't hit them up because like Jay Huss is shot there. No, literally we do independence, we do commercial. Hit us up, which is at Freds UK. That's the platform, and then Freds Studio. Freds spelled without the vowels. It's THRDS. Also the website as well, fredstudio.co.uk and freds.co.uk. THRDS.co.uk. And yeah, those two combined are literally pretty much my life. So if you do care, or I don't know, you fancy just seeing what happens in the day of in the life of a creative, then those are probably two good things to follow.